Now we have to spend 5,000 yuan on the mortgage every month. For working class people like us, we can only earn slightly more than 4,000 yuan, and we have children. The man said, I am 35 years old and have a mortgage of 3.5 million yuan. In 2019, I impulsively bought a house, and now the monthly payment is about 18,000 yuan, with 16,000 yuan of that being interest. I have been repaying for more than 3 years, but I really can't continue. I will be 65 years old before the mortgage is fully paid. I've had the house for a year, but I don't even have the money to renovate it, so I can't even live in it. The situation in China's real estate market is getting worse. House sales across various locations, including Guangzhou and Shenzhen, have been falling, and real estate prices have dropped to cabbage prices. Today, we will discuss China's plummeting housing prices. Recently, a real estate project in Zhongshan, Guangdong, launched a promotion allowing buyers to purchase a fully furnished house with a down payment of 9.9 yuan, sparking heated discussions. According to the Daily Economic News, Xiping, a real estate agent in Zhongshan, said the project offering the 9.9 yuan to buy a house promotion is located in Gangkou Town, Zhongshan City, and is nearly complete. The promotion is expected to continue until the end of this year. Xiping said, the down payment is 9.9 yuan and the project will be delivered fully furnished before the end of this year. Based on a 30-year loan, the monthly payment for a 3-bedroom apartment is about 2,944 yuan, and for a 4-bedroom apartment, about 3,782 yuan. The sales staff of the project confirmed the promotion, explaining that the remaining down payment would be distributed across monthly payments. Currently, options are available for the 12th, 18th, and 22nd floors. Xiping noted that the price of new houses has dropped from a peak of over 30,000 yuan per square meter to about 13,000 yuan per square meter. For 9.9 yuan down, buyers can get a 3-bedroom, finely decorated apartment in a nearly completed building. This apartment, spanning 89 square meters, includes 3 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, and 2 bathrooms, with a kitchen and a connected living balcony. The overall layout appears very comfortable. The 9.9 yuan to buy a house promotion primarily targets apartments between 89 and 107 square meters, with total prices starting at 690,000 yuan. The lowest monthly payment is under 3,000 yuan, meaning a buyer of an 89 square meter house would pay at least 35,000 yuan in mortgage payments annually. On this, Weibo commentator Tianlong50 Guiji remarked, isn't this the same as auctioning debt rights? Buying a company for 1 yuan often comes with tens of millions of debts. They just want someone else to bear the burden. Yes, this is also called debt reduction. Another netizen bluntly stated, in Zhongshan, salaries are only about 3,000 yuan. After making the monthly payment, you'll be left with nothing but to survive on the northwest wind. While many find the idea of buying a fully furnished house for 9.9 yuan strange, others note that some people are even willing to give away houses for free. Is Guangzhou so outrageous that it is giving away houses for free? A few days ago, an owner publicly gave away a house. He had paid the loan for 3 years. As long as someone is willing to take over the monthly payments, the house would be given to them for free. At first glance, you might think this is a bargain, but in reality, there's a hidden trap. When the owner bought this house, it cost 2 million yuan, of which 1.6 million yuan was a loan. Due to the real estate market downturn in recent years, the market price of this house has plummeted by nearly half, making it insufficient to cover the remaining loan even if sold. This is why the owner is desperate to give the house away. In fact, there have been more and more reports of free houses in recent years. Most of these cases involve people who bought houses at peak prices a few years ago. Now, with falling house prices and financial difficulties such as unemployment, they cannot continue paying their mortgages and are looking for someone to take over. If anyone is willing to pay my mortgage, I will give them the house. Yes, you heard it right. This happened because I stopped paying the mortgage yesterday. I don't mean to spread negativity, but this is something I personally experienced. Last year, I emptied my parents' 30 years of savings to buy a large flat in Kunming. The total price was 2.55 million yuan. I paid 700,000 yuan as a down payment and took out a loan of 1.75 million yuan. The property was very popular when it launched, and I even used connections to secure a good floor to buy a satisfactory house. But just last week, I accidentally visited the sales office and discovered that the market price of this house is now less than 2 million yuan. And it even comes with a parking space. What's most infuriating? The most infuriating thing is that the interest rate for the house I bought earlier was 5.8%, but now it's 3.95%. The interest rate difference amounts to 700,000 to 800,000 yuan, meaning I've lost almost 1.5 million yuan in just over a year. I don't know what 1.5 million yuan means to you, but to me, it feels like the sky has fallen. The 700,000 yuan down payment came from my parents' lifelong hard-earned savings. Now, my friends are trying to comfort me, saying that housing prices might rise again. So, I want to ask everyone, do you think this is possible? Currently, free houses are becoming common across the mainland. Over the past year, housing prices in Guangzhou have been falling, with drops ranging from 15% to as much as 65%. Tianhu Park experienced the smallest decline, with prices falling by about 15 to 30%, as they were not high to begin with. Zhujiang New Town saw declines of 23 to 30%, while suburban houses have mostly reverted to 2015 to 2016 price levels, with general drops ranging from 30 to 65%. Recently, a promotional video of a real estate project in Huangpu Hejugang, Guangzhou, has been widely circulated. The house is located in a core area, with fine decoration. The original price was 20,000 yuan per square meter, but the current price is 5,500 yuan per square meter, representing a 30% discount. Previously, a property in Nankun, Panyu, Guangzhou, was sold at a 70% discount, with a 2-bedroom, 1-living-room house being sold for only 230,000 yuan. Netizens lamented that Guangzhou housing prices have collapsed. Real estate prices across China are continuing to fall. About 75% of the assets of mainland residents are their houses. If house prices fall by 40%, half of the people in China would now have negative assets, especially those who bought houses after 2018, who are suffering the most. Residents in many areas complained on social media that they had no choice but to sell their houses due to unemployment and difficult living conditions, but the plummeting housing prices caused serious losses, turning their properties into basketball and water. A blogger and her husband bought a house for 2 million yuan in 2017, but now face financial struggles due to her husband's unemployment and her store's closure. They want to sell the house for 1 million yuan, but housing prices have dropped significantly. The 142 square meter home, bought at 14,000 yuan per square meter, is now valued at 7,000 yuan per square meter. When a potential buyer offered only 500,000 yuan, the blogger was outraged and decided not to sell. She lamented, "Buyers treat houses like vegetables in a market, cutting prices in half. It's too much."
Recently, many places in China have successively released economic data for the first 3 quarters of this year. The data shows that Shanghai has long occupied the leading position in the national economy, but now its total GDP has slipped to 11th in the country. This is a big shock for this top city of China in particular, and the entire Chinese economy in general. A netizen posted a video saying that at the Shanghai job fair, some companies actually offered a monthly salary of 800 yuan. She lamented that all walks of life are now too competitive. If you don't do it, others will do it. The sky of college students has really fallen. A netizen attended the Shanghai 2025 Autumn Campus Job Fair to apply for a job. This undergraduate was initially satisfied, believing he could secure a monthly salary of 10,000 to 18,000 yuan in Shanghai. However, when he saw a company recruiting financial interns, requiring a bachelor's degree, but offering a monthly salary of only 800 to 1,499 yuan, he was stunned. In 2024, there were still jobs in Shanghai with a monthly salary of 800 yuan, about $110. Although some may think that this position involves only serving tea and pouring water, the monthly salary for Java software development engineers at the same company was also 800 to 1,499 yuan. They were unwilling to even offer 1,500 yuan. Perhaps some might argue that there are too many undergraduates, and they are not worth higher salaries. Coincidentally, on the same day, a large state-owned enterprise offered daily salaries of 180 yuan for postgraduates, 160 yuan for undergraduates, and 140 yuan for junior college students. When college students saw such salary standards, they felt hopeless in life, as if the academic qualifications they had worked hard for over the years were now worth no more than the price of a sack. The fact that employers can offer such low salaries also highlights the growing power of the mindset. If you don't do it, others will do it. Netizen Xiao Wang took his college classmate to look for a job in a factory, hoping to work as screw assemblers, but the outcome was disappointing. Today, I took my college classmate to a factory to screw screws. Let's see how these factories treat us. At the first factory, after a brief communication with the boss, the salary offered was 17 yuan per hour for alternating day and night shifts, with one shift per week. Such a schedule seemed excessive, even for a resilient worker. After inquiring at several other factories, the wages were consistently 17 or 18 yuan per hour, with hardly any long day shifts available. More and more people in China are realizing that diplomas are not as valuable as they once were. A university degree used to guarantee a stable job and generous benefits. But since China's colleges began expanding enrollment in 1999, more people have had access to higher education. The number of college graduates has risen every year, leading to intense internal competition and widespread unemployment among college graduates. The Chinese Communist Party authorities encourage college graduates to take up jobs as factory workers, delivery drivers, online taxi drivers, nannies, cleaners, and other similar roles. Netizens lament the shrinking value of their academic qualifications. Let's discuss the devaluation of diplomas in China today. How many delivery drivers are there in China? Reports indicate 84 million. More than the population of many European countries. Among these, over 30% are undergraduate degree holders. Meituan alone employs hundreds of thousands of masters and even doctoral graduates as food couriers. Parents invest huge sums of money in their children's college, master's, and doctoral degrees, hoping to change their destinies and enable upward social mobility. However, many graduates are unable to find jobs and are forced to deliver food. One delivery man, a graduate of a prestigious university, believes that diplomas no longer matter. Some netizens also noted that college students spend their parents' hard-earned money to complete their education, only to be unable to secure a decent job. What, then, is the purpose of going to college? Is it merely to solve the employment issues of college teachers and vendors around campuses? Or is it to boost the turnover of small restaurants near universities? Netizen Du Linglong reminded graduates not to deliver food, as he believed that doing so would make them poor for life. Have you seen the delivery guy? Do you believe that those who deliver food will be poor for life? This statement is not alarmist. The amount of money each delivery man can earn every month is determined by the platform's algorithm. Don't criticize me just yet. If I don't explain well, you can blacklist me. If I do, feel free to give me a thumbs up. When you can't make enough money but need to survive, you're forced to keep working and can't stop. Even if you come across a promising entrepreneurial opportunity, would you dare to take it? Of course not. You can't afford the risk. Time is money. Behind every delivery man is a family, grandparents, children, and elderly relatives. How could they afford to stop? As long as you remain in this profession, you will truly be poor for life. Believe me. I am 25 years old. I have no house, no car, no partner, and no savings. This is my second year working in Shanghai. My main job is network operations at a small furniture company in Shanghai, with a fixed monthly salary of 6,000 yuan. I work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, with an hour-long lunch break, and I receive double training on weekends. Accommodation is provided, along with a daily meal allowance of 15 yuan. Salaries are paid on the 20th of each month. The day before yesterday, I received last month's salary. After deducting 5 insurances and 1 housing fund, I only received 5,152 yuan, What do you think of this salary level in Shanghai? This woman reflected on her college years, recalling how she felt her mother's monthly living allowance was too little. After graduating and struggling to find a job, she realized how hard it was to earn money. I feel like I can't take it anymore. It's been more than 3 months since I graduated, and I still haven't found a job. My rent is due, and I'm running out of food. The balance on my phone account is less than 100 yuan. Back in college, I thought the 1,500 yuan per month my mother gave me was too little. Now that I've graduated, even scraping together 1,000 yuan to send to my mother feels impossible. On November 13th, the National Development and Reform Commission of the Communist Party of China, along with the Ministry of Education and 3 other major departments, jointly issued the Opinions on Deepening the Integration of Industry and Education in the Domestic Service Industry. The document urged provinces to establish domestic service programs and actively absorb college graduates into the domestic service industry. This move sparked widespread heated discussions among Chinese netizens, with many lamenting that diplomas are rapidly depreciating. While there is no inherent hierarchy of professions, the fact that post-2000 undergraduates are taking on low-end jobs such as cleaning highlights the difficulties young people face in finding employment and the misallocation of educational resources. A Fujian netizen, Jin Jinyang, sarcastically commented, "The next step will be to encourage college students to go back to the countryside and farm." Sound the alarm. The World Bank issues a warning about China's economy. China's stock market fell sharply on Wednesday, dispelling the optimism of retail investors in recent days. At the same time, the World Bank issued a warning about the outlook for China's economy. So, can the official stimulus policy continue the strong performance of the stock market in the previous round? And what risks are the large number of people who have poured into the stock market facing now? The Chinese government has successively introduced economic stimulus policies, and retail investors have flocked to the stock market. But in the speculative boom, stock market turmoil and uncertainty about policy stimulus may cause retail investors to become leaks again. World Bank lowers China's economic growth forecast. According to Bloomberg, the World Bank warned on October 8th that China's economic growth is expected to slow further in 2025. At the same time, given the changes in global trade and investment flows and the increase in policy uncertainty, China's economic downturn may put additional pressure on economies in East Asia and the Pacific. Although the Chinese government has recently launched a series of stimulus measures in an effort to boost the economy. In the short term, the World Bank said in its semi-annual economic outlook report that China's economic growth rate is expected to decline from about 4.8% this year to 4.3% next year. Speculative enthusiasm and market risks coexist. After the National Day holiday, China's A-share market continued its strong performance for 5 consecutive days before the holiday and continued to rise on the first trading day after the holiday. According to the Shanghai Securities News, due to active trading, many brokerages resumed work ahead of schedule to cope with the post-holiday investor entry boom. Foreign institutions such as Citi have also released research reports, optimistic about the prospects of the Chinese stock market. According to the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, the U.S. investment bank Goldman Sachs released a research report entitled, "If You Don't Buy Now, When Will You? 10 Reasons to Buy Chinese Stocks" on October 7th. Goldman Sachs believes that since September 24th, the Chinese government's policy response has been different from the past, and investors have generally received the support they expected. In addition, the People's Bank of China has also injected liquidity into the stock market unprecedentedly. Looking back at this round of stock market fluctuations, since September 24th, the Chinese government has announced more than 10 key policies covering monetary easing, fiscal stimulus, real estate market support, and stock market stimulus measures. Goldman Sachs believes that these policies are milestones in scale, breadth, and comprehensiveness, and can be compared with the 4 trillion stimulus plan during Wen Jiabao's period in 2008, the loose policy when Draghi took office as president of the European Central Bank in 2012, and the A-share rescue plan in 2015. Goldman Sachs also believes that there may still be a lot of room for the rise of the Chinese stock market. However, the market's optimistic expectations are not unreserved. Some American bank analysts warned that the buy-everything stage of the Chinese stock market may end soon. Market momentum, fiscal support, profit changes, the U.S. election, and future policy trends will all affect the prospects of the Chinese market. At the same time, consumer stocks, real estate stocks, and brokerage stocks may face the risk of profit-taking, while large-cap internet companies and high-yield state-owned enterprises are still relatively stable investment targets. Driven by policy incentives and market enthusiasm, many Chinese stock investors even sold their cars and houses to heavily invest in A-shares. So, does this leveraged strategy truly reflect investors' confidence in the Chinese stock market? Our station recently launched an opinion collection activity on the status of the Chinese stock market through the international social media platform X. Some netizens said, "Those who rushed in after the holiday have been buried. This time it is definitely not cutting leaks. Please rest assured, this time it is digging leaks' roots." Another netizen joked, "Leeks need to be pulled up and helped to grow so that it is pleasant to cut." In addition, some more cautious investors are wary of the excessive optimism of the Chinese stock market. Mr. Zhao, a Shanghai stock investor who requested anonymity for security reasons, said that in the new round of the A-share market, we must pay attention to risks and strictly control positions. This is like snatching food from the tiger's mouth. It's really not easy to snatch money from the country. This surge is almost crazy. I think the country's economic policies are very good, but I don't know how it will end this time. No one knows whether the economy is so weak and whether the medicine will be too strong. He said, "For me, of course I hope it will rise, because the stocks I invested in before have not recovered. But I am a little worried, especially the day after the holiday. Everyone thinks it may fall. But the country definitely hopes for a slow bull market, and I don't know how strong it will be." Mr. Zhao said that he would not easily take advantage of this wave of the market to continue to increase his position because he had not recovered his losses before.